We got Maction once again here early in the week, and we will begin with Tuesday night, Akron and Eastern Michigan. We have the Eagles, 4-point home favorites, Eastern Michigan, that is, 39 the total here in this game. I don't want either side. I don't want Eastern Michigan laying points, flat out. And even in their recent games, and obviously last week, they got absolutely drilled by Toledo, 43-29. They got buried by Western Michigan, 45-21 the last 2 weeks, failed to cover in both of those games. Now, normally you just bet the underdog, in Eastern Michigan games, and it started out this season that way, but they've been the dog the last 2 weeks, and they did not get the cover. This offense has had problems all year, and the defense was actually decent earlier in the year. It looks like they've just run out of gas, and how could you blame them? I mean, the offense just doesn't move the football, and the defense is out on that field so long, and you're seeing that defense. And again, with these teams like Eastern Michigan, you lack depth when you're a middling, smaller conference team, and I think you're seeing some injuries too on that side of the football really hurt. So they're struggling to get stops. Problem is Akron's struggling to score, and they've got quarterback injuries as well. DJ Irons went down to injury a couple of weeks ago for this Akron team. They went to Jeff Undercuffler, who started a few games, and he really struggled to get the job done. And he actually ended up getting benched. And then it ended up being Taj Bullock getting into the game last week against Miami O. He went 2 for 6 for 20 yards passing with 23 rushing yards. So they got quarterback issues right now, this Akron team, and Joe Moorhead's going to have to figure it out here because right now this offense is absolutely in a state of disarray, especially at the quarterback position. My thought is I don't want anything to do with the side, but I get the Akron offense has struggled, but you actually look at last week, Conor, they played Miami O, okay? That's one of the better defenses in the MAC. It's one of the few teams that really plays good defense in the MAC. I think this is a huge step down. Eastern's given up 40-plus in the last 2 games. Are you telling me these teams, for as bad as they are, at times on offense can't combine to get to 39 points? I mean, I want to bet this over badly because I think for Akron, this is a step down for their offense against this defense. Eastern is a horrible defense right now. I got to think Akron can do something here offensively in this game. And meanwhile, you look at Eastern Michigan going up against Akron. This is an Akron team that, has had their issues. They've given up 27 or more in 3 of their last 5 games. I think they hung in there decently against Miami O last week, but Miami O had Avion Smith at quarterback back up for them, so not great. So I'm trying to make a case for the over. I want no case of either of these two sides right now. What do you think here, C-Mac?
Yeah, this is ugly football here between 2 teams that I really don't want to bet on at all either. One thing, if you're looking at the total, and even Akron in this game, Vivano, because I can't lay points with Eastern Michigan. They played their best football at home. I was talking about that last week, and of course they got their ass romped on the road. You already went through it, but Akron can't run the ball, and that I think Eastern Michigan's biggest problem on defense is the run. I think they almost give up 190 yards per game. So if they could run it, I think they might be in this game. And you mentioned Undercuffler. Jeez, Louise. Sorry to rag on this guy, but all the quarterbacks, it's just like even Smith, you mentioned for Miami, Ohio, they have such a great defense. I mean, he didn't do anything, threw for 50 yards. But yeah, this Eastern defense is getting pounded. Akron's defense is not very good. Maybe it does get over. I wanted to double check. The weather's not too bad, right? It's just cold here.
I want to point out, I'll put 43. It out right now so I don't have to repeat it with all the MAC games. It's going to be clear and light wind and pleasant
45
for November in the Northeast and Midwest. So it's actually going to be no weather issues at all for any of these MAC games this week.
Excellent.
So there you go. I'm making a case for the over. Why not? I mean, and sometimes I just like it when 2 bad teams face off. This reminds me of the over I cashed with Akron and Kent State a few weeks ago. That game went over the total. 2 bad teams, and I know both of them kind of were struggling on offense, but they're finally facing a team that they could probably move the football against. So I might get there with the over, but I don't want either side in this game.
I agree. Same thing, wasn't it? Bowling Green and Kent State too.
Yeah, there was
49-19. That one I thought was too low. We were talking about that was right around 40.
Yeah,
and we got plenty.
When you're talking about a game in this conference, and I see a total of 39, I'm going to try to make a case to bet it over. And I think I'm going to do that here in this game